So here we have the sleeve. It's already been cut out. It's 2 layers. And the last thing we have to do for this sleeve is notch it. So I'll do my 2 notches for the back. My single notch for the center of sleeve. My single notch for the front. And then my seam allowance notches. So this is the shoulder and this is the hem. So this is perpendicular to the floor. And this is running in the direction like from ceiling to floor or from head to toe. So this is vertical. This is our underarm seam. So this sleeve is gonna curl up like this. And this is our underarm seam. So this seam is running from the armpit down the arm towards the elbow. So this is a vertical seam. So we're going to do seam allowance notches on this vertical seam. So this is 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I made a little mark there for where the brown paper intersects with the white and where it extends into the 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to do vertical notches for the seam allowance on the back of the undersleeve or underarm and on the front of the underarm. And then this is cut 2. I have 2 layers. So I have my label on this side. I need to, and I have my grain line drawn on this side. I also need my label and my grain line on the other side. So what I'll do often to transfer my grain line is I'll just take a pin. Here, let me zoom in. So here's my grain line right here. You can see my arrow, grain line, my other grain line arrow. So what I'll often do is just take a pin and poke a little hole through 2 ends of the grain line. And then that gives me, so I'll zoom in a little bit more. Oops. I guess that's as zoomed in as I can get. So right there is my pinhole for the top of my grain line, and right there is the pinhole that I just poked for the bottom of my grain line. So now I'll zoom out so you can see the whole thing. So I'll take my ruler now and I'll bump it up against my 2 pinholes and draw my grain line. And then include my grain line arrows. And then the last thing I have to do to finish this sleeve is put my pattern label on it. So my label has my initials, a style number, whatever we're going to call the dress, the piece name, what size it is, how many pieces we're going to, what it's going to be cut out of, my name, the semester and the year, which form it's for, and what the reference pattern is. So those are all the individual items that need to be on there, and they'll be different for every single person. maybe the semester. I have old labels printed here, and so just not to waste the paper, I'm using my old labels, where most of the information's okay, just the semester and year, maybe. So for the dot paper patterns, which are going to be put into a envelope on this sleeve, I have my label in the same direction as the grain line, but I think for the manila patterns, I think I'm going to put the label sideways, perpendicular to the grain line, so that no matter how it's hanging, wherever I rabbit punch it, the label shouldn't be upside down. It'll be easier to read. So our sleeve is done now, and now we'll move on to the next piece.